Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast, powered by 19 Media Group. It is your host, Ricky, and I got my boy, Alex. Y'all know him as Lakers Central. He's in the building talking with me a little bit on this Friday afternoon about the Lakers' current and updated head coaching search. Make sure you're following us wherever you get your hashtag good content. Alex, my brother, how you doing, man? Long time no talk.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be back on.
Absolutely, man. Last night the stage was set. Looks like we have the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic making his first finals appearance. Kyrie Irving and the rest of the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie's making his fourth finals appearance, which when I heard that, Miller, I was like, damn. But then you realize that, he was also, hand in hand with LeBron going on all those trips together, and a big, huge piece of that. So shout out Kyrie. He's taken a long journey, it feels like, these last 3 years to get to this point. So shout him out, but they got it. They got to finish the job. They have to finish the job. If there's one franchise that is behind the Dallas Mavericks, it is the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's because the bitch-ass Boston Celtics are going to be represented the Eastern Conference. And Alex, I don't know about you, man, but it'd be not good if the Celtics beat the Lakers to number 18, man. How you feeling? How are we feeling about this finals matchup? How are we feeling about Luka, man? Is this his time? Is this his time to take the throne as best in the world?
I mean, it should be a really good series. I mean, both teams are good. Both teams are humming right now. I mean, I don't know if Boston has faced any real competition in the East. I mean, New York was beat up. They didn't even get there. I mean, it's like Boston has had a bit of a cakewalk, and we've seen Boston get there before and fail every time they get to the finals. So, but they're, if I'm Dallas, I'm not looking past them. I'm not assuming that we're just going to walk in the door and sweep these dudes or go, win 4 out of 5 or whatever. Like, you have to take it seriously. But to your point, I think all Lakers fans are probably pulling for Dallas to win this thing. We don't want Boston to get a leg up on us in terms of championships. We don't feel like hearing that. I would imagine that all Denver fans are probably rooting for Boston so that they can then troll us if Boston wins. You know what I'm saying? But Luka and Kyrie, Boston's going to have their hands full. I mean, if they, I know Luka's dealing with a sprained knee, I believe, but them boys can play. So I'm hoping that Dallas pulls this out.
Yeah, how long you see the series going? I think for me, I appreciate that Dallas wrapped it up and they did another game. I would feel real nervous about picking against the Celtics, but with this setup, I probably am gonna have to go Dallas in 6. I'm gonna need maybe 1, if not 2. Kyrie lost his fucking mind games for this to swing in their directions. I think Dallas has the best 2 players on the court. It's just the issue is the Celtics have, I don't know, the next 5, right? And they're not far off. Jason Tatum is, whatever you say about him, he is a superstar. However you feel that he's done so far in the playoffs, he is still one of them ones in the league. And, Luka is Luka. Luka's at the top of the totem pole right now in this playoff. So I'm hyped just for the firepower and the superstar matchups. But I got Lakers in 6. I think the Lakers. I'm fucking Lakers. Oh my god.
Freudian slip, man. Freudian slip.
It's so sad. It's so sad. I have Dallas in 6. The Dallas Lakers, the Los Angeles Mavericks. I got them in 6 moving forward, man. What about you?
Same thing. I think it's Dallas in 6. I mean, Game 1 will say a lot, but I think it's Dallas in 6.
We'll see. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. They got a little bit of time before they kick off. But yeah, once the NBA Finals kicks off, man, that is the start of the end of the 2024 regular NBA season. And we will be off directly into the off season. And the focus will be who the hell is going to be coaching the Los Angeles Lakers this time come August. And when training camp rolls around, if you ask a lot of Lakers fans today who is going to be the head coach, they probably tell you JJ Redick. You ask a lot of national media members, they're already saying that the kind of the feeling, the wind in the air, the foregone conclusion is JJ is going to take over as the head coach. And the only thing separating that announcement is the NBA Finals, because JJ Redick has some commentator responsibilities that I guess is a really big deal that you just don't step away from. It's like their Super Bowl. So I get it. Alex, bro, this is what? This is something that it sounds like Rob Pelinka has talked to a handful of these head coaches. It sounds like this week the Lakers officially brought in James Borrego, the Pelicans assistant and the former head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, for an interview. So I guess that was the first official meet the circle of trust interview process. But if we're hearing all this, yeah, it's kind of just writing on the wall. JJ's going to be in, and he hasn't done this formal process yet. What do we make of this process and these rumors floating around?
Hey, man, it's a sham of a process. All right, like he's still under contract to call the NBA Finals. I don't think the Lakers want to make an announcement and overshadow the finals in any way with him calling the games. Like, if they make that announcement, he's calling the games, Boston's playing, there's Lakers, Boston, like it'll take away from the finals a little bit. So they don't want to do that. The writing is on the wall. I think it's like the worst kept secret. They brought in Coach K as a consultant. You don't bring in Coach K as a consultant if it's Coach K's boy isn't lined up for the job. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
So I think it was Shams or Woj that reported that James Borrego had a great interview and wowed the Lakers front office. But I feel like that's just for show. It's like I'm operating under the assumption that JJ is going to be the next head coach. And I have been highly critical of hiring a man that has no experience. Let me say that again. No experience. I don't care how many years he played. The dude has not coached anything besides like his kids' AAU games or whatever that. Like,
correct.
Like, look, man. As great as Jason Kidd was as an assistant for us, as great as he's been as a head coach for Dallas, when he first went to Brooklyn, straight from playing, he was doo-doo. Like, he was terrible, right? I mean, we remember him in Milwaukee with him spilling the drink on purpose to get the timeout. Like, he was terrible.
Hit me. Yep.
Yeah, like, and so Steve Nash, another one, terrible. Like, and these are all-time great players that could. Magic Johnson, another one, was terrible as a coach, was terrible going straight into the front office. Like, look, man, I hope it works out because whoever they hire, they could hire a dog, and I would be hoping that the dog can coach. Like, if you're a Lakers player or coach, I want you to succeed. But like, the Lakers have this pattern of hiring people who have never done a job before. Magic, never, no front office experience. Rob, no GM experience. Now you're bringing in a coach with no actual coaching experience. I don't care what he learned from Coach K at Duke. I don't care that he played 15 years in the league. I don't care that he has a podcast where he drinks wine with LeBron. A lot of guys know basketball, but knowing it and then coaching it and leading a team, like, it's different. And to compare him to Pat Riley, like, sure, I get like the look and all that kind of stuff, and I get the broadcast comparisons, but like, Pat Riley still actually coached before he took over as the Lakers head coach. Yep, and even back then, you take over a team in like the 80s, it wasn't the same thing as taking over a team in 2024. You had one or two coaches on your staff. Like, the stuff that these coaches have to prepare for now is night and day versus when Pat Riley took over as Lakers head coach. So I hope it works. I'm on record as saying if he's going to be the guy, he better have the highest paid coaching staff in the league. Like Sam Cassell, bring in Borrego if he doesn't find another job, bring in Kenny Atkinson, like bring in a couple head coaches to be on his roster, bring in some really bright assistant coaches. Rondo is apparently up for, potentially for the bench to be on the assistant coaching team. Like, but to me, like, if he's your guy, all right, like, I hope it works. Because the Lake, even beyond this most recent coaching search, When has it actually worked for the Lakers in the last 25 years? Phil Jackson
Mm-hmm.
and Vogel won. And I think that Vogel, honestly, man, I think Vogel kind of got a raw deal because they put that roster together with Russ that didn't fit Vogel. So I don't think that was all Vogel's fault. But like, other than Phil, Rudy Tomjanovich won 2 championships coaching Akeem, and he didn't even make it a whole season.
No, he went to an advisory role. In fact, it was a little too much for the heart, like literally.
Yeah, it's a hell of a job, man.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Ricky with Late Night Lake Show. Real quick, just wanted to send some flowers, send some love to one of our A1 Day Ones, friends of the show, Prize Picks. They've been rocking with us since this account and this whole operation was in its infancy, way before we have grown to the production that we are here today. And we can't thank them enough for believing in the engine that is LNLS. And to show our love, we got a new promo code for y'all. Type in the promo code CLNS. CLNS for up to $100 deposit match on your first deposit. That's right. You already know how Prize Picks is coming, man. It is the #1 daily fantasy experience. You make your picks higher or lower. You make 2 to 3 selections. And if you hit, you might be able to cash out on a nice little 5, 10, 15, 25, all the way up to 100 times your deposit. It's exciting. The NBA season is winding down, but you got WNBA action. I'll be watching Angel Reese and Chicago Sky this summer. Can't wait to check them out. Baseball's in full swings. Cubbies doing their thing a little bit, just so y'all know. Watch out. Watch out. But in any event, you know how Prize Picks is. Make your bets, win you some money, give them the shout out, and give Late Night Lake Show a shout out too. Promo code CLNS. Peace.
It's easily the most scrutinized job in basketball. It's one of the most high profile jobs in professional sports, the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. This would make the 5th head coach in 10 years for the franchise, going from back to Byron Scott to today. Whoever is going to be replacing Darvin Ham will be given, a very, very, very microscopic room for growth. Everything's going to be in the binoc. Everything is going to be under the radar, man. Everything's going to be in sight, in the scope, whatever the metaphor is. Everyone's going to be looking, and you're going to take someone from 0 experience, place them in there, say good luck, and if and when it does not work out, that's what you point to. He didn't have the experience. He didn't have the luck. It's funny. The Lakers talked about, reporters close to the Lakers are talking about that they are looking for a head coach that is supportive of the LeBron James, Anthony Davis era, win right now mentality. But at the same time, they are going to be the head coach for the post LeBron James era development, Anthony Davis as the focal point. I have a couple of thoughts with that. One, I don't necessarily know how often this 2 timeline scenario works out. Go ahead and ask the Golden State Warriors how it feels to be light years ahead of the competition, thinking that you're going to continue to draft assets and build them up and develop them, and they're just going to take the reins while your existing superstars ride out into the sunset. I think we see that probably the best thing to do is squeeze all the juice out of the era that you're in right now, maximize it, and then when it's over, you guys all shake hands and you ride on to the sunset together, and then you go back and you start over. I don't think the Lakers have received this message yet. They want to compete for a championship. They got to the first round this season, lost in 5 to Denver. LeBron James is going to be 40 years old, coming up. So that's a real thing, right? Anthony Davis had one of, if not the best season as a Laker, and he's only going to be older, right? We are either another year towards his prime, or we are another year towards the end of his prime. I think we saw last year, Anthony, that's still prime AD, right? The jumper is what the jumper is now, but offensive and defensively, that's still a monster and somebody to build around. My issue is stop talking out of both sides of your mouth. Just pick one. You know, you remember the first Spider-Man movie with the Green Goblin? He had Mary Jane in one hand and he had the bus, the train full of people in the other, and he
Yep.
said, "Choose." That's what you fucking got to do, Rob. That's what you got to do, Jeannie and team. You have to choose what we are doing, and if the goal is, hey, let's do everything humanly possible to get LeBron James and Anthony Davis one more ring in this
Yep.
era together, then you got to ensure that you are bringing in leadership that is ready for those moments. Who the hell knows if JJ Redick is ready for the grind of a 7-game series in the first, second Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals? We have zero background in that subject. So it's hard for me to believe that JJ Redick is head and shoulders above the competition without an interview, without a formal meeting of the Lakers front office, if reports are true. And yet you're confident that this could be the guy to support LeBron today and the Lakers of next year. So I guess where I want to take this next, is this decision making, the rumors of JJ being out in front after everything that we just said. It's kind of hard for me not to believe that the Lakers front office and staff is not just listening to the Mind the Game podcast and going, you know what? Think we figured it out. I think we figured out who's going to be our next guy for the future. And bonus, he's already LeBron's co-worker. We know he'll sign off on it. Imagine him hating the hire and still wanting to do the podcast. It'd be crazy, right? That's honestly how I feel like they're thinking about this situation. Am I crazy?
No, I mean, not at all. JJ checks 3 boxes that I think are important to the Lakers. One, he actually does know basketball. Clearly, he knows the game.
He knows ball, yes.
2, he and LeBron get along. So that's a big thing, right? And 3, JJ is very good in front of a microphone. Darvin was terrible in front of the microphone. He consistently said the wrong thing to the media. And the Lakers, it's insane, man. And it's like, of all the jobs in the NBA, and this might even, even New York, it's like, if you say the wrong thing to Lakers media, like, you get crushed. You get crushed. So whoever the Lakers coach is, they've got to be media savvy. And that might not matter in Charlotte or might not matter in OKC, but in LA, it doesn't even matter for the Clippers. But for the Lakers, it matters. And so he checks those 3 boxes. And I hope it works. I really do. I just hope that 2 years from now, we're not right back at this thing again where 2 years, I mean, I would imagine LeBron's out the door in 2 years and AD is 2 years older. And I agree with you. You got to basically go all out. Like, you can't save these draft picks for like 5 years down the road. And like, you can't. There's no 2 timelines here. You've got 2 stars. AD's still in his prime. LeBron has extended his prime longer than any other superstar known to man. But he's clearly older. Like, you can clearly see he is not the same as he was even 5 years ago. So like, go for it. One of my issues with the Lakers has been, it feels like, I know other people say this, but like, they run the team like a mom and pop shop. Like, you're the Lakers. You are basically the number 1 Fortune 500 company in the NBA, right? Your front office, your consultants, everybody should be like, you should have the best front office in the entire league. Your coaching staff should be the best from top to bottom, because there's no salary constraints with front offices and the coaching staff. Spend whatever you need to spend to get it. And then on the team level, go for it. Like you said, like, we have 3 draft picks we can trade.
Yep.
You better go for it.
I don't care about the 17th pick. I don't give a damn. I could care less about who is available at 17. They need to be a 27-year-old, a 29-year-old is what I need that 17th pick to be. These children coming out of the draft, and this is all respect to those prospects. I hope my son one day is just in the same footsteps, the same path as them. But if I'm talking about 39-year-old LeBron James, and I'm talking about, if not already 30-year-old Anthony Davis, what am I going to do? Another Jalen Hood Shafino? The fuck am I going to do with that? Max Lewis, I like him a lot. Sure, let's see what we got next year for him. But that's still another year into the future, which we don't have, unless we are folding up the tent and saying thank you guys for your service. LeBron, this farewell tour, the year after this one, it's going to be beautiful. We are not going to be competing for a title, but we'll make sure we send you out like a rock star as we collect draft capital and young assets to build towards the later 2020s. Bro, 2025 is months away. We're about to be in the back half of this decade here very quickly, right? LeBron's been here it's going to be 6 years, right? Fork in the road moment, fellas. We're doing it or we're not. And I think when we just kind of take a step back and do all the inventory in this, we have to just come down to the conclusion, man, that we support a franchise that literally operates like this all the time. They don't change their stripes, right? Or they say cheetah never changes the spot. It is what it is. They move with the headlines. They operate with the flow of the ocean, right? They are not steadfast in their focus, their strategy, their philosophy on how to build a winning organization. You see it almost every year with either the roster turnover or the head coach turnover. And now we're sitting here, me and you, we about to talk about, okay, well, Lakers have 3 draft picks. They either can package some stuff up, unfortunately send my favorite white boy, Austin Reeves, to somewhere and go get a superstar, right? Where do you land with that? The names that come up, right? Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, right? Who else am I missing from this list? Is there anybody else?
Those are the big names.
Those are big dogs. I thought there was a fourth one. Maybe not. Darius Garland was the other name.
Darius Garland.
Does that move you?
Well, Donovan Mitchell, yeah. If they get, bye, Austin. Love you. I'm sure Cleveland would love Austin. Like, you got to go for Donovan Mitchell. Now, Trae Young, he does nothing off the ball. Obviously, he doesn't play defense. Like, D'Angelo is probably a better defensive player than him. He's obviously bigger than Trae Young. And D'Angelo does off-ball work. Trae don't do none of that. So, if you bring in Trae, he's got to have the ball all the time to actually be effective, and unless he's willing to do some off-ball. And I have concerns about him going from the number 1 option to the number 3 in LA. Like, would he be willing? Maybe. I don't know. He's no longer clutch. He's CAA, I believe.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. We're on at least year 2 now of this whole LeBron does not want to be the focal point of the offense. Somebody else should be taking the ball up. Someone else should be. I'll say the year that we traded for Russ was the obvious, like, hey, LeBron does not want to have the ball in his hands as much. So do you feel like an addition of a Trae Young or just a ball dominant guard that's a high score, do you think that still would be an issue, or are the Lakers best when they operate with LeBron with the ball in his hands?
LeBron says he doesn't want the ball in his hands. He doesn't want it as much. That's a damn lie. Like, he's LeBron James, right? Like, sure, maybe through the regular season, but you get to the playoffs, who's going to have the ball? Trae Young or LeBron James making decisions for the team. Like, the problem is that they do need a dude who can be a lead ball handler and play off ball. But, like, those guys cost $30 million and the Lakers don't have $30 million. They're just not like, Donovan Mitchell would be obviously right. He'd be perfect at that because he actually does do off ball work. But, like, look, man, the person Donovan Mitchell, we could get him great, but I think Wendy was like, Donovan Mitchell has too much power in Cleveland. They just fired their head coach. Like, he ain't leaving, right? Not this season, at least.
And they're going to give him the super duper. So,
yeah. I mean, Trae switching from clutch to CAA, I feel like that might have deaded that, right?
Not good.
Now, DeJounte Murray, all right. He was really good defensively in San Antonio, not so good defensively in ATL, possibly. But the guy I'm hoping that they try to get, if he's available, Mikal Bridges. That's who I like. Yeah. I know we need a point guard or somebody that can bring the ball up, but, like, get me. 6'6", can shoot. He's good. He can play. Like
Mhm.
that's who I'm hoping they go after if he's possibly available. Somebody recently said, I don't know who it was. It was either Wendy or somebody. No, Jovan Buha. He mentioned that the Grizzlies offered 5 draft picks to Brooklyn for him, and
Yeah.
they said they turned it down. And he said
Mhm.
now they are not going to get that 5 draft pick offer anymore from anybody. So it's like, could 3 draft picks get him? I don't know, but one thing is for sure. I love D'Angelo. I'm so happy to see one of the original young core come back, and he was really good. I think he's really good for us, but he's not good enough in the playoffs. He just isn't, unfortunately.
Mm-mm.
So, and
You
a
got too much
backcourt
tape
of
on it.
right, and a backcourt of D'Angelo and Austin is just not. I mean, they just can't defend anybody really.
Mm.
So then, could Donovan and Austin? Probably not either. Could Trey and Austin? Probably not either. Like, so I don't know, man. Like, they definitely need a guard that can be a lead ball handler, play off ball, and play some defense. But is he out there? And I don't know. I don't know.
At the trade deadline, it was the whole conversation about, are the Lakers going to go get DeJounte Murray, right? What would be the price for him? Are they going to swing and add some more firepower? And I think Rob said something along the lines of, you can't buy what's not available or something
Right.
like that. But I think I sent a tweet out at that time. I was like, hey guys, all this Murray posturing, the Lakers aren't going to make any trades. They're gonna look towards the buyout, and then they're going to say in the offseason, we're going to use the draft picks that become available once the new season starts, and then we're going to go big game hunting again. That is exactly what turned out to be true. And now we are sitting here wondering and actually having the conversation. Well, on one side, do the Lakers even have enough firepower to go get a superstar with all the other teams that potentially could be in the mix for them? Hell, you think Miami's satisfied with how their seasons have gone and all the rumblings about Jimmy Butler and he better be getting a super max? You think the Clippers are just going to sit there with their hands on their hands under their asses if Paul George decides to go sign in Philadelphia? No, they're going to go do something, right? And I think the more that I think about these packages for a Donovan Mitchell, who I can easily see down in Miami, or a Trae Young, which I don't know I don't even know where Trae Young's market is. What, Orlando, right? They talk about they need a guard. They got money enough for a max. I'd look to be interested to see what Orlando's got planned for this offseason. Regardless, I find it a little difficult to think that the Lakers can strong arm a franchise into trading them their disgruntled superstar, especially not with head and shoulders the best package to offer. Like I know, bro, there are franchises in this league that either are not too excited about seeing the Lakers succeed, Rob Pelinka succeed, or LeBron fucking James succeed. I don't care what anybody says. That shit is real. You think Cleveland's excited about trading Donovan Mitchell over to LeBron if the Lakers if the second best offer? Fuck no. No. You think Boston's ever going to look the Lakers' way? No. And I wouldn't want them bitch ass niggas to either. But regardless, there's clearly teams. The Chicago Bulls are a great example. Jerry Reinsdorf would rather die in purgatory with his franchise than do any type of transaction that could potentially help LeBron James displace the only reason why he is still an owner in professional sports. And that's the legacy of Michael Jordan. So it's real. I'm nervous. I think the Lakers are going to try to flip some of these smaller pieces like Rui, Gabe, and try to get another better supporting cast member. I think that's probably more likely. What do you think?
No, I agree. That's short of a superstar strong arming his way to the Lakers. I think that this is where it goes. And Rui's the highest paid non-LeBron AD guy on the team right now. So his name is going to be out there just because you need him to make the money work for some of these deals. But like, I love Rui, but he's 6'8", like 230, and that boy don't rebound at all. And you can't have a guy on your team that big playing like a guard and not rebounding, right? Especially when D'Angelo is not a great rebounder, Austin isn't. Like, they've got so many holes at the same spot that like some of these guys have to go, unfortunately. So Rui's probably going. I think he's probably going. I hope Vando sticks around. I mean,
Oh,
but like,
he up his name up on the block too, man. At
yeah,
the end, and this is the one thing I will defend the Lakers on with Vando's name now being in rumored on the trade block. Bro, you got to be available. You got to be
yeah,
healthy, right? Like if Vando played last year, great. He missed a lot of time. A lot of time. And one thing we don't have on our side now is time for a key role player with injury history to continue to be out. So I get that, but like also all the other teams are looking at that too. Like, what you think you're gonna get from us?
well, I mean, the question is like we had this season, right? LeBron and AD were healthy, but like the role players missed so much time. So I'm no doctor, obviously I'm not, but like I question sometimes like what's going on with the Lakers medical staff versus other teams, like because so many of these guys miss so much time, and it might just be freak accidents, whatever. But like my question to you is, do you think we have a second season where LeBron and AD are mostly healthy, right? Because if you had said coming into this past season, you get LeBron and AD for 65 plus games, most of us probably, oh, they're probably contending this year. But if everybody else is hurt, so even next season we could have all the role players are relatively healthy, but if one of LeBron or AD misses 25, 30 games,
Yeah,
I'm so sick of playing for the play-in dog. Like every
poverty.
year, like come on, man, those extra games for like. So I don't know. Do you think we get another healthy season out of those two?
No. Odds say no. Odds says another layer of treads are going to come off of LeBron's tires, respectfully, right? And though he'll still have his flashes of greatness, you'll also see the wear and tear of a 21-year career. Anthony Davis made himself available for multiple games. There were still times throughout this season where you thought, this is the one. This is it. This is the one where he's not getting back up. So hallelujah that he did. But let's just play the law of averages and put our thinking caps on. It's more likely than not one of those two players are going to be missing time for, let's just say, when we say stretches, let's just say 5 or more games, right? I think that is possible. I think that is more likely than not to happen, where one of them might be nicked up for 2 games, then the other one's out for 1 game, right? Or then we got a role player that's out. But that goes back to our previous conversation, bro. If you are not confident that your main dogs will be healthy enough for a full season, you got to get another dog. You got to bring in a third dog to support. This is, I call it the DeMar DeRozan theory. If we would have figured out, instead of Russ, how to bring in DeMar, and we see what DeMar has done since he signed with the Bulls. Granted, he's been option A since Zach LaVine's been out most of the season, but that's the fucking point. You see what he does when somebody is out that used to be depended on day in and day out. DeMar was one of those guys. Could you imagine? Because DeMar will get you. You look at a box score and you see, oh, DeMar dropped 20. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not DeMar, right? Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's easy. He can do that easy. Rui drops 20, we're fucking throwing a party. Austin drops 20, we're like, that's what we're talking about. Fucking D'Lo drops 20, we are happy about it. DeMar does that getting out of the fucking bed. That's what I feel like the Lakers are missing with this. These are our top 2 dogs. Yes, they are still top 10, top 11 in the NBA, but if you put on the layer, the little ratings of health scale, right, and longevity, it's a little scary. So why are we not investing or throwing the chips in the table to get right now? Unless you're secretly folding, you're secretly punting. You're just propping them out up front, right, and saying, no, we're behind our superstars. We're going to do everything we can to get them the right support, and then you make smaller tweaks than you probably need to. That's what I'm worried about in all this, man. The Lakers are saying one thing, but reality is telling us we are getting towards the end of our superstars' time together, this era of Laker basketball. Why the hell have we not either pivoted or leaned in? So I don't know.
I mean, if JJ ends up being the guy, which it looks like he's going to be the guy, the staff that they give him and the team that they build for him, that'll tell me everything I need to know. Like that'll tell me how serious they are. And this isn't an indictment on Russ, but had they not done the Russ trade and kept KCP, Kuz, and AC, that's still that's at worst a second round team at worst. And it's like, or if they did instead of doing the Russ trade, they went and got DeMar, a credible third option that can give you 20 any given night. Like, that's a good team. And I think
Al, they're chasing the team that they broke up. They are literally trying to talk about getting Kuzma back. They're literally if the Lakers could bring KCP back onto the team tomorrow, he'd be back in the Laker uniform. They punted it, and then you fast forward 3 years later. Now they're like, oh man, it'd be nice if we could just get some high-level role players in the building. What? Well, no shit, Sherlock, to your point.
Yeah, no, look, man, I've heard Kuzma's on the table. Jeremy Grant, who I like Jeremy Grant. He's paid a ton, but like they could use another forward, either Kuz or Jeremy, that slots in between LeBron and AD. Like, it's also one of the reasons I like Mikal, because he can play the guard or the forward. But in any case, like, I want to see what they're willing to do. And in all fairness, I will say with this past season, had Darvin had better rotations, had Darvin made better uses of his play calling, his timeouts, the Lakers might have won 5 to 10 more games. They led the entire series against Denver. They might have actually won that series if the coaching was better. So it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like it feels like the Lakers are this close, and then they're also like this far away. Like,
for sure, sliding doors.
I could absolutely see them winning it all. I can see them missing the playoffs, and that is insane. But
what would we say about the playoff matchups, right? Like, even though I was the person that say, give me Denver right now, because I don't like slow rips of Band-Aids. If they're not going to win it all, I'd like to know sooner than later. But you got your other Lakers fans that said, see, this is why we should have ended up on the OKC side of the bracket. We would have ran through these boys, and we at least would have been in the Western Conference Finals trying to figure it out. So to your point, like that, they are an inch and a mile away, and we feel like that going into this season, man, we felt good about the roster, right? We felt good about the additions that the team made. We felt good about Christian Wood. We felt good about Gabe Vincent. We felt good about the addition of Taurean Prince. And then literally Cam goes, okay, hey, who was on teams that I've coached in the past? Cam, Taurean, superstars. Let's go. Let's go. Front and center. Got to put y'all on a pedestal real quick. Let y'all do your dance. And then when you saw Taurean get back to a normal role, he looked like a great role player. God, man, I never want to have a negative opinion about a black man, but that man right there.
No, I was fully supportive of them hiring Ham, but that second season, he regressed. He was terrible. And here we are looking for another.
Here we are. Let's take a look real quick about the rumored assistant coaches. Did you see Frankie Smoke's name pop up? Did you see that potentially Frank Vogel could be in play for an assistant coach role? Hell, you know what? All this spinning the block, I'm here for it. Brings Frankie Smoke's ass back. He not the leader no more. He just get to focus on the defense. Was he not good at that side of the ball? And that's what killed me about Ham. It was like, what side of the basketball were you supposed to be a genius at? Because I'm not seeing either of them bitches show up. At least Frankie Smokes had the Lakers top of the league in defense. Would you welcome him back?
He had Phoenix top. I think Phoenix was top 14. I mean, they were a decent defense given the roster that they had. Like, no, I would take Frank back. Would he come back? I don't know how it all ended. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but yes, give me a credible head coach on the bench that can assist JJ, I'll take him any day of the week.
Yep. What else? Who else did we see? We saw Scott Brooks. Yeah, I don't really get the Scott Brooks love, but I guess he's a good guy. Who else? Obviously, we got Borrego, who
Yep.
is apparently a big Anthony Davis. He has the vote of Anthony Davis from their
Yeah.
time together. So I'm here for that. I said this on a different show, but if you're able to get the Charlotte Hornets to a plus 500 season, you are an excellent head coach, because that franchise, I don't think will ever have any sustained productivity. And it has nothing to do about who is running the franchise from the head coaching position. So, hey, if they want to bring him in, who I heard is an excellent offensive mind. And,
Yep.
I wonder if he was there for the Boogie AD era. And that's
I don't
why.
know.
And
What did that? I've heard the same thing, that he's good offensively. So like, bring him in. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, see, Davis, according to those brief, thinks highly of Borrego. So we'll see. And then they also, going back to this Wokey article that dropped on Thursday, it said the Lakers have been very tight-lipped about the search process to date, with outside noise, a word used inside the team's buildings, linking them to former player and current broadcaster JJ Redick. So Shams is just making this up. Chris Haynes is just making this up. All of them. All these guys that are supposed to be respected are just making tea leaves and then reading them themselves, if you ask the Lakers. But nonetheless, you got Sam Cassell and Jared Dudley as other assistants that they're talking through. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm kind of straight on a Dudley reunion. If it's down to just getting former players from the player development position onto the coaching staff, give me Rajon Rondo immediately. Okay, bring in Rondo. Again, a guy who has the utmost respect of the locker room from the superstars between LeBron and Anthony Davis. And to be honest, man, it's just time. It's time for him to get serious about this next chapter of his life. He's had some ups and downs, personal issues that he just keeps bumping into. He needs some focus. Let's just focus on your role as a Lakers assistant head coach. Come coach the Lakers to help them get a championship, and then we can just fully expunge your career with the Celtics, because now you got a championship ring as a Laker player and a head coach, and then the world can just know you as Lakers Rajon Rondo. What do we think about that, Alex? Are you in? You in?
Bring him on the bench. I mean, the bench I'd like to see. I'd love to see Vogel, but I don't think that happens. But if you bring JJ in, give me Borrego, give me Cassell, give me Rondo. I'll even take Dudley. He was respected in our locker room. But also give me another guy that's been an actual assistant coach on the team. Like he's been a head coach. Give me one more assistant coach, and then give me those former players. Well, or Cassell checks that box as an assistant. Give me that kind of coaching staff. I'm all on board.
Another thing we see, a former assistant Greg St. Jean being considered for this coaching staff. He was an assistant for Frankie Smokes under the Lakers previously. So another name that has come out. And I just find it weird that the whole David Alderman report has just disappeared. The Denver's assistant coach, who's highly regarded as a next great head coach, if you ask Nikola Jokic and all of Denver's players. I've seen no updates. That we still got the report at the beginning of the month that the Lakers got permission from the Nuggets while the Nuggets were still in the playoffs to conduct a formal interview. But here we are today, Friday, May 31st, year of our Lord, 2024. And we've only got one head coach through the door officially. I'm excited for at least that conversation with him, man. It seems like he's a very highly respected and a smart dude that's unlocked Jokic and how Gordon and Mike Porter Jr. all play around him in the front court for the Denver Nuggets. But is that weird to you that he's just no longer talked about right now? Or I don't know, maybe the Lakers flying under the radar.
I mean, I don't think he's not sexy enough name. You know what I'm saying? I think it's kind of went and
he is balding.
It seems like Denver lost, and then we haven't heard much. I'm thinking the same thing on Micah Nori for the Wolves. He was a name that we heard at first, and now it's like, all right. I mean, it's Borrego and JJ, and I don't know. I mean, maybe some of
Again,
those other guys, they might have went away because they know like JJ's basically the guy. Like, what's the point
fair.
interviewing, be participating in that if Coach K is the consultant on the job, man? Like, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
So maybe that's how we're getting these reports, right? Maybe, and I hope it's not just like Shams and Chris Haynes doing what we're doing right now and just making that one connection to Coach K and consulting with the Lakers on their head coaching search. But maybe what if that's the actual source of the leak, right? Like Coach K. I remember when, oh boy, I forget who they hired as the head coach of the shoot. In any event, there was a head coach that was hired in the AFC a few years back, and I remember the Dolphins' old head coach, who was a black man, he was fired from the Dolphins, and he was interviewing for this new head coaching position too. And Bill Belichick, who he used to coach under, texted him saying, "Hey, congratulations, Jim, on the head coaching job. You're going to do great." And he was like, the coach was like, "What the fuck? Like, I didn't even, this is odd because I still had to go finish out the process, and he's congratulating someone else mistakenly to me." That, I'm sure that happens more than not, man. Hell, I'm looking, right? I'm dipping my toes in the job hunt, looking for new roles and other companies. And there's this whole thing called referrals, right? You get your name on the referral, you are going to get an interview, right? And you get an interview, you got an inside track because someone's already there. And just from the nature of it being a referral and somebody that they trust, you have a better shot than somebody who's just coming in with just a resume and a smile.
Yep.
We'd be dumb to think this couldn't possibly be a similar situation where Coach K's folks kind of have maybe said something and now it's starting to permutate through the media circles. So all hail Coach JJ when he slides through. But I loved your point about the Lakers better have the highest paid coaching staff in the league. If we're going rookie head coach with zero experience, everybody else needs to be silver foxes on that coaching staff. Everybody needs to have gray in their beards. Everybody needs to have the crow lines, the bags under their eyes, no sleep, wrinkles in their forehead because they eat, sleep basketball. Haven't seen their wife for months, and it's the off season already for them. That's the type of dedication we need in the Lakers bench if we're getting a rookie out. So I don't know, man. Is that our official picks? Is that our official prediction that JJ will be the Lakers head coach? And do you think it probably gets announced soon after the finals wraps up?
I think it leaks for real during the finals. Like I think it's going to leak. Like official announcement after the finals, yes, but we'll be 99% sure sometime during the finals that he's the guy. Especially with the finals wrap up like right before the draft. Like they're so close that you want your head coach to kind of be involved with the draft process. We'll know already.
That's so nasty. Could you imagine you get hired as head coach and then a week later, yeah, it's the NBA draft. Don't worry, we got everything covered already. Why don't you just sit back and relax and watch with the show with Pelinka and company about to do here? Like it doesn't make sense.
You're right. It's like if they wait till after the draft, so you have a week between the finals and the draft, and then he's got to put together a coaching staff too during that like 5 days, 7 days.
Yep.
No, we'll know way before that. It's him. I mean, we know. Huh?
When's free agency? Let's see.
I don't even know. It's July something, right?
June 30th. So a month, less than a month is free agency.
So your point, like, yeah, you got to put together an entire coaching staff and figure out who he wants to. No way they wait until after the finals to really know it's him.
Klay Thompson's about to be a free agent too.
They say Orlando might make a run in him.
Good for him. That, you know what? That's the perfect. Wow, this is towards the end of his career jersey, a Klay Thompson Magic jersey. And I'm sure he will still be productive with them. This is not a shot at Klay Thompson. This is just one of those things that all stars, unless they spend their full career, a la Steph Curry, a la Kobe Bryant, get to. damn. He played for who at the end of his career? It's an Allen Iverson Memphis jersey, is what it is.
Yep. I forgot
all.
he played in Memphis. Lord.
Yeah, you're right, man. That shit should have been cold. I think he played like 13 games, and then it was like, yeah, I'm up out of here. That's the end of that. So, all right, yeah, no, I think Clay ends up in either Orlando, or if Paul George doesn't end up in Philly, they do something like that, right? So, we'll see.
They got money to spend.
They do, and I don't know how. I feel like it's because Harden out the door, and Maxey is still. I don't think he's on his extension yet, his next contract. So just waiting for that to kick in. You might as well fold in another Supermax superstar. So it's going to be exciting. The Lakers, we're operating in let's just say a 25-day window, folks. We're probably going to get some in the next 14 days, but we're operating in a 25-day window between now, the draft, free agency. This is still, hey, everyone, make no mistake. This is part 2 of the NBA season, the off season. And like every avid NBA fans know, this shit gets just as exciting at times because shorter window. James Harden might be in China somewhere talking about he doesn't want to play for the Clippers. The way that he came out and talked about how he didn't want to play for David Morey and calling him a liar in front of a bunch of people that didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. That's that NBA off season I can't wait for, brother. So looking forward to it. Alex, thank you for jumping in and rocking with me, man, on this episode. As always, bro, we got to continue to do this more, bro.
I appreciate it, man. It's always fun.
Yes, sir. Well, that'll do it for us on this episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you get your hashtag good content. For Alex, it's Ricky. Late Night Lake Show. We out.